All right, good evening, John. How are you?
I'm doing good, thank you. I'm just getting back to my place in New York for my
Okay.
day of
All right.
meetings
Hey,
out.
ladies and gentlemen, at 6 o'clock, I'm going to call this meeting to order. Welcome any and all visitors and welcome any public comments that one may want to make that is unrelated to our agenda item. Come up, you have to sit here, please.
Good evening. My name's David Richmond, and I've been a part-time resident of Wilmington for the last 5 years. Prior to that, West Dover for 24 years. And my wife and I were from Simsbury, Connecticut. And 4 weeks ago, we moved up here full-time, right on Castle Hill Road. I'm involved in the community. I'm in the Rotary Chamber, and I'm also finished my 5th year as an adaptive sports ski instructor. So I'm in the community. Tonight, I want to talk about 3 things. Okay, number 1 is Fairview Road, where it turns into the dirt road, which I'm on every day. The road is a disaster. It's unsafe. There's potholes everywhere. And I've been watching it for the last 3 years, and there's been nothing done to it. And watch these guys with their trucks and trailers and boats. And all we have to do as a community, as a town, is fill in the holes. So I spoke to the lake people, and they actually filled the holes in where the gate to enter the lake is on Fairview last week. I spoke to them, and they said, you know what? You're right. We need to do that. Because people are getting, their cars are getting damaged, and it's just not safe, bike riders, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm asking you to please take a look at it, take your car down there, and see what we're dealing with on a daily basis.
Can I just clarify? David, are you talking about the road that goes into the lake?
No, they already repaired that. I'm talking about our road. Fairview to the lake gate, the dirt road. It's awful, especially with all the rain we've had. It's just deteriorating more. We walk it every day. And so I'm asking you to please have either your public works director or your highway person just check it out and see if the repairs can be made before the summer gets busier and busier with all the traffic. The second thing I want to talk about, and I've brought this up to many people in the town, is I'm a visual person. And a little more background, I've owned 17 buildings and self-managed them myself with partners. Currently, I own 3 buildings, and I have been self-employed for 42 years. So I'm a worker. Okay, welcome to Wilmington. And all you see on the right side after the mobile station are piles of wood. And I've spoken to the homeowners, and those piles of wood have now been there for 1 year, from when Green Mountain Power took down those trees to put in the new telephone poles. So in speaking with the homeowners, they've all said to me, we were told that it's our responsibility to move the wood. Okay, as a taxpayer, as a resident, I don't want to see those wood piles anymore. It's not a welcoming view to the town. So why can't we as a town simply get our public works department with a dump truck and a machine and move that wood? There's a woman especially, she said, I can't afford to get rid of this pile of wood. So why can't we as a community, I'm sorry. Why can't we as a community help our homeowner, our neighbors remove the wood? So it looks nice. Now weeds are pulling up through it because of all the rain. And an example of visibility is the guy that had the house next to the mobile station that looked like a dump for the last year. Finally, someone got to him and he cleaned up his yard, and now it looks welcoming and it looks the way it should be. So the wood, it's not, I think, as a town, what we want. And again, it wasn't the people that own the homes, they're putting the telephone poles in. They had no control, and they had nothing to do with it, except now, why should it be their cost to remove that wood. Why can't we as a town assist them and make the town look nice? So welcoming to this town, and we have to look at that, again, pile of wood. And last, since it is my first meeting, I want to talk about when they repaved Castle Hill Road. Okay, we do a lot of yard work. And when they repaved Castle Hill Road, between our lawns and the new pavement was a strip. And what they did was they put down a crushed stone and dirt between the new road and our lawns, about, it's called a foot wide. Well, I was like, why would they do that? Well, last winter, that whole strip got plowed into my yard and every one of my neighbors. So now we had all kinds of sand and dirt and stone in our yards. So one of the things I recommend we do is look at just topsoil, grass seed. Just because you guys created more work for us, and if you go up there now, all it is weeds and dirt and stones and rock. So we're gonna redo ours, obviously, but again, I've done a lot of paving in my life, and I've never seen that done before. And it created, again, you guys know what it's like to remove stones and rocks from your lawn in the spring from the snow plows, and this just added to it. So those are my comments. I'm active, I'm involved, and I care about our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, so Scott, we'll look to you. Possible changes to the agenda.
I have under number 5, an update on the Riley Boyd Road Class 4 section.
All right. 4 section. All right, so folks, let's move on. We're going to approve the minutes of May 20th, 2025. I believe everybody was there that day. I believe everyone was
Yes.
there, right?
Yes.
All right, would somebody like to make a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes from May 20th, 2025.
All right, do we have a second?
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the minutes of May 20th, 2025. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. Scott?
Under action items, the select board to possibly appoint Carol Sewell
Is she here?
to the beautification committee.
Carol, can you come up here? I mean, we didn't expect you to be here, but since you're here, we can razz you a little bit, I think. We bring you up.
And then I'll tell you how much I want to get paid for doing this.
Well, we don't.
It's the best job ever.
Yeah.
We just know that you have an affinity for weeds, I'm sure, okay? Not the smokable type, but the type.
Oh, you don't know that.
Yeah, well, we do a drug test for beautification.
Okay.
All right, but we're very, very thrilled to do it, volunteer to do this. And we certainly welcome any volunteers at all that committed through that. Beautification is pretty important. By mid or late summer, things are really, really blooming around here.
Do you know, when we first came up here 11 years ago and we drove through downtown, it was so beautiful.
Right.
And being someone that loves gardening, I was really impressed.
Let me ask you too, did you like the lights that were on the building that looked like a casino? You know, for Christmas, did you like that one?
Actually, they were putting them up when we moved up. here.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm saying that because, we had a letter commending us for that years ago and saying it was kind of a beacon in the middle of the night, but yet everybody hated them. Okay, so I just kind of thought that if there were some other viewpoints, it'd be really nice to talk
yeah,
about that.
actually, animal or insects for pollinator gardens, it's not good for them to be on at night.
Oh, are you a no may mow type?
Oh, no, I mow,
Oh.
but we're trying to get the pollinator gardens around Wilmington area right now. We're doing it through the Chimney Hill Landscape Committee.
Okay, all right,
Mhm.
all right. Well, I have,
But
folks,
you can keep
any
your lights on.
any questions here for Carol?
Nope.
Thank you.
My husband said you should vote no.
He's out of luck. Contingent on the drug test, okay? So, all right, so folks, I'm gonna make a motion to appoint Carol Sewell to the Beautification Committee.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Welcome aboard, Carol. Thank you very
Thank
much for
you.
volunteering.
Thank you, Carol.
They have the old cheering section. We don't have any of them.
I paint.
Oh, All right, Scott?
The select board to possibly approve the scope of work for FY 25 audit from Sullivan Powers
Yeah.
and Company. This is housekeeping, but they have a space for everyone to sign, so.
Reps. Yeah,
You might not have it in there.
I guess I don't see mine. Okay,
This is the. Want a copy, I can send one out too. Same thing you signed last.
oh, same thing, that's, okay, all right,
It just gives them,
just so we can move ahead with the audit.
instead of making it out to me, they make it out to the select board, so I need your signatures on the bottom.
Okay. All right, do you need a motion on that?
I would like. please.
Okay, all right. All right, I move that we approve the scope of work for fiscal year 25 audit from Sullivan Powers and Company.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the scope of work for the audit from Sullivan Powers and Company. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? All right. All right, Scott?
The select board to possibly authorize the town manager to sign the agreement with Wyndham Regional Commission for the town plan update. Remember, we've already received the grant itself. This is to reimburse WRC in an amount not to exceed $23,800.
Okay. All right, so do you need a motion on that, or do you,
Yeah.
you do? Okay,
Yeah,
all right,
please.
I thought maybe a consensus would do, right?
Oh, general consent is fine, yes.
Okay, anybody have a problem with this?
No.
Scott, let's just do this with a general consensus, right?
General consent it is.
It's the regional.
The select board to possibly appoint a DRB alternate by the name of John Gannon as a regular member with a term expiring in 2026.
When you jump in, you go both feet, don't you?
Charlie for this one.
Thank you.
I hear vice chair is on the horizon.
Well, I know that, I think it is, if you can't be vice chair unless you're a full-time member, correct?
Correct.
That's right.
Yes.
All right, so, John, we're very happy that you'll do this.
Yeah, I really like signs.
You do?
Sure.
Okay, okay. All right, I have no problem that John's gonna do.
John?
Yeah,
So I do have a question for John. So, John, you do not live in town full time, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, so my concern is the DRB is tasked with giving a voice to not only growing the town, but also to take into account the people who actually live in town and how their decisions affect them. To be honest with you, John, the few times I've been in the select board that you have had local residents come before you, you've been dismissive and basically outright rude to them. Like you didn't really care what they had to say.
I disagree with you completely.
Well, you can disagree with me. I'm giving you my opinion. You've also thrown out facts, such as when we talked about short-term rental, and you threw out fact that only 2% of housing in Vermont is short-term rental, when in fact, 30% of housing in Wilmington is short-term rental. I don't think that you are a candidate to make decisions that affect everyday people, not just the people who are higher up in the food chain as far as how this town is moving forward. Especially the fact that you are not here every day and none of your decisions will affect you at all. I'm adamantly opposed to your appointment.
Anyone else? John, you know how we feel. Okay,
Okay.
all right, we did a slot. You sat on the select board. You volunteered, you went on it, and my understanding is you've done a hell of a job. So I'm going to sit here and I'm going to make the motion to appoint DRB alternate John Gannett as a regular member for a term expiring 2026. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. John, nay, right?
Nay, and Jessica, I would appreciate if you could put in the individual votes in the minutes and not just an overall vote, because that's hiding the fact of what people have voted for.
Not quite. All right, tell me.
He wants a roll call.
I can explain that to you, Tom, if you want.
Go right ahead.
You want me to explain it to you?
Go right ahead. Yes, I want you to
The
explain.
town should know which of the select board members have voted yes or no, not just the fact that the select board has voted yes.
That's what we usually do, John.
No, we do not. We say passed.
He's
right.
asking for a roll call.
Correct.
Do the roll call. Do the roll call. Do it all.
John LeBron,
Is a no.
Charlie Foster, yes.
Fitzgerald, yes.
That's right, yes.
Thanks for taking my chair.
You're welcome.
Next week we'll vote on me being alternate.
Yeah, you probably, yeah, I was gonna say, it may have been a conflict of interest. with you,
Yep,
yeah, right?
exactly. Worked
Anyway.
out well.
Jessica, there's three yes votes, a majority, a quorum for the vote out
Yes,
of the
three.
select board members.
3-1 passes, yes.
Okay, just checking.
John, thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
All right.
The next one is also, it's an annual housekeeping piece, is emergency management plan. The select board to possibly approve the 2025 local emergency management plan.
It says, has it changed at all from last year, Scott?
There's always a little bit of updating, but it's generally similar from year to year.
I did look at this online here today.
It's reviewed by a number of people, including Chief Moore, Chief Morano,
Right.
and my assistant Jessica Archambault puts it all together, make sure all the Ts are crossed, and we submit it to the WRC and emergency management.
Right, okay. I haven't seen I don't see a lot of changes here. That's fine, find any change.
It's like just names, last name changed.
There's some names.
Yeah, well, that's a given.
And I don't have, I will have something for you to sign, Tom, but I don't see it. Oh, no, here it is, sorry.
I have a form here, Scott. Do you want this one here signed or no?
Yes, that
Yep,
one I need
that's
signed by
signed.
everyone.
All right, okay.
You're holding up the progress. Yeah. And it looks. But in terms of that plan, I'll have Jessica set something up. I think you have to sign it. Yes, you do, and I don't have that with me. But I will have it for you to sign. Need a motion?
Okay. Right. Hold on, I'll check that here. All right. Joe, that goes back to
Yep.
you. What else do you have there to sign, Scott?
I think she set aside for me. I think I have. I think that's it.
Yeah, okay. I just want to make sure. Go back for that.
There's a correction needed on my name.
Yes, please.
Okay. All right, emergency management, Scott, I have a copy here. You want me to sign that one?
No, I'll get you something
Okay,
to sign,
all right,
Tom. I'm
okay. All right, so
sorry I
we'll
don't
do it.
have it tonight.
Okay, that's good. All right,
As long as we have a motion and a second and a vote.
I move to approve the 2025 local emergency management plan.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the emergency management plan. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right. Scott,
We have the highway superintendent to give 3 updates, and I'll let him do them in the order he would like. The select board to review our site visit to the transfer station, and walk you through that. The next would be the Buzzy Town Park flood resilience work. And the third would be a class 4 road and some work that's going on up on Riley Boyd Road, sorry. Marshall?
Okay. Believe you guys all got a copy of the report from the A&R for the Wilmington transfer station.
that was just bad timing. That's all that was.
It's really nothing. Everything's been taken care of. There's no fines that go with it. They told us we didn't have our permit on display that we didn't even have, but they did. They had the brand new permit with the brand new hours on. They couldn't understand why we had a sign out front flashing new hours, because they thought that was the hours. They loved the sign.
So change had been already made, yeah.
Yeah, but we didn't have a copy of it, so they gave us one. We have a copy of it. They found some other minor things that they were okay with last time they come with, they're not okay with this time, but it's nothing big. They found a standpipe that was tipped over. It got hit when it was mowed by the contractor, it looked like maybe, or an animal climbed on it, 1 or 2 in the old landfill cap. There's nothing more than going up on the hill, pushing it up and packing the stone back around it. So that's that. If anybody has any questions, I'll answer it if I can. That was minor.
The wood, I think, was the big deal.
The biggest thing was some stuff that did not belong in the burn pile. Had no right, that I already knew about, but I couldn't clean it up before they got there because they found out apparently the same day about happened. So just bad timing on their part, or however you want to look at it, but everything's cleaned up.
It was bad timing.
Everything's cleaned up, everything's taken care of. It wasn't burnt. Everything's good. She was very nice. I called her. She actually did provide us with a training link for our new transfer station attendant, who I was taking it's an online video to watch. And it went over everything that we went over that was in this letter. It went over everything. So even he questioned a couple things. So he knows where it is. I went and watched it. I was actually going to give it to Jess to watch. It's a video. Right now, we found a lot of other training that we can send them to or do. But we did do the one that A&R recommends. Again, she was a very nice lady. She wasn't upset or nothing. When I talked to her, I called her the day that we actually got the letter. And most of the stuff that we had, she couldn't even believe that we had already taken care of. So she was ecstatic that we were right on top of taking care of things. Like I say, it wasn't a big deal, because it is what it is.
I met the new attendant. He's very nice. He's a nice guy.
I actually heard from somebody else that had no clue that I just kind of played foolish of who I knew who he was, and they said he's very polite up there, speaks to everybody in a nice manner, so.
Gotta give him Wi-Fi or something up here, you know? Brandon used to read the books.
So I'll touch on that quickly. There is gonna be Wi-Fi up there. It was supposed to have been there Monday, but as I expected, they realized that it stops on Higley Hill. But, so they said they're not charging us nothing to install it. It's free setup. It's Fidium. And it's cost $110 a month. We pay $60 a month now for a phone. It's $110 for the phone and internet and everything. So that means we can change our cash register system possibly to doing maybe accepting credit cards. We haven't got all that figured out, but we're looking into it. But they were up there today running the brand new wire when we went up. They ran the brand new wire. According to the guy that was there on Monday, he'd probably be back tomorrow to finish hooking it all up. So,
And he had told me that your plan to put on cameras in there because people are doing illegal dumping, right?
so yeah, it's been a problem for a while. People I will give them credit enough. They walk through, however they get the trash in there. Some people leave money under a rock on the front steps. The least they're not leaving it.
They're coming through the gate when it's closed?
Oh, yeah. They're leaving them by the front door.
Yeah, so there'll be a rock on the front steps, and you don't want to just shoot it out of the way, because a lot of times if you pick it up, there could be money under it. At least they're trying, I guess, is one way to look at it, but we would like to know who's coming in and going out. We did find that Casella, we did learn, has been leaving the gate open when they come change a container, so we've talked to them about that. Like, if they're coming and going, they need to shut the gate when they leave, because they usually come when we're closed. So that could be how they're getting into, but so that's the transfer station.
Okay.
Buzzy Town Park. So I didn't realize Jess wasn't gonna be here, and I had some pictures I was gonna ask her to put up on the screen for me, so now you're gonna have to do it. You're gonna have to stand on the road and look at Buzzy Town Park in your head. So if everybody knows where the swing set is, sort of down the bottom of the rail to the left.
Yep.
One of my big complaints since I've taken over, I don't like the looks of the bamboo and everything growing over top of the swings. So without any cost except labor and some time, and talking to the rec department and Jess, we're gonna move the swing sets, because one, the bamboo's growing over top of the swing sets. So you either swing into the bamboo or you swing into the railing, because they're in between. So those are going out on the ball field because they don't use the ball field no more. We're gonna take bulldozer, clean the bamboo off, and we have some topsoil that was left over from Basin Brothers on the Route 9 project. They left a big pile in their dooryard. So we're gonna fix that so that can be mowed with a lawnmower. We keep mowing it, the bamboo will stay away. To me, it'll look better to not look at all that bamboo there. So that's one thing that's gonna probably happen before 4th of July. After 4th of July, talking with Josh Carvajal, which is our river engineer, we're having the bank, if you're looking up the river, standing on the bridge, look up the river, where the exercise equipment is, if you guys know where that is, that we put in there a few years ago, 3 years ago, something we put in there. The bank is almost washed, it's almost eaten into the exercise equipment. So talking to Josh, we come up with a plan, again, from where the trail starts at the end of the ball field towards the tennis courts, where the trail walks up behind the tennis courts, from there to that big tree that's right closer to the bridge. We're gonna take all that bamboo out and we're gonna make a shelf in there. The trail that is currently there will still be there. But we're gonna make a shelf which will lower it, and we're also gonna fill back in the spot that washed out next to the exercise equipment. And we're gonna put some plantings. There'll be a row of trees, if allowed. We're gonna put a row of trees and some plantings that they specified to put in flood zone to help stabilize that bank, and hopefully so the bank stops washing away and taking out stuff in the park. So that being said, the exercise equipment is gonna be moved into the diamond of the baseball field, and the baseball field backstop's coming out too. They don't want it there no more. They don't have no reason to use it. The school spent all these monies in these fields. They want to use the fields that they spent the money in. And the rec department, we're working with the rec department, trails department, to try to organize where this stuff goes, not just put it where it's gonna get flooded out. Try to make it easier to maintain. So that's some of the work you may see happening. If you have questions, I'm here to answer them. We are gonna do the work ourselves. We have some money in the lands and fence account, I believe is what it's called. This is where Scott comes in.
Yeah, we thought we had hoped that we would see some grant money, but it doesn't appear that way right now. And we're talking about, I think some of the trees might be like red maples, like 12,
Yes.
12 feet high. I mean, not too big, but
So
something
they'll
that
start
will
out, they're
grow.
young. They're what they call
Yeah.
a 5-gallon pail tree is what I found. That's reasonable. If there's more money down the road, we can add more stuff, but making a row of red maple trees, because they're good for wet areas, I learned. That will kind of be the borderline between that and the shelf of the flood zone. And in the flood zone, it will be red. It's called a dogwood and
It's like
some other kind of,
some shrubbery.
it's shrubbery. It's dogwood and something else that would be planted in there. It won't be more than 5,000. I'm gonna use a budget number of 5,000. I don't have an exact number yet because Josh is working with us on make sure it's planted so it will stay and doing the grades, because you can only cut certain things, obviously, because of the river. So he's working with us on that.
He's helping with permits and whatnot, yeah.
So that's something that I have hopes to be done, all of it done by July, but I don't want to mess it. One, I can't leave the river till July 1st. I don't want to mess it up for 4th of July to make it work. I will probably do the bank next week, but the bank will be all done and then grass seed will be on it. We'll hydro seed it. The grass will be growing there usually grows pretty quick. The other side won't be done until a little bit later. So if somebody asks you what's going on, that's our plan, unless somebody don't like it. So that's what we're giving an update on there. Any questions on that?
Sounds good.
There's a question.
So just a quick comment
Yep.
on the, when we talked about the dump, you mentioned possibly accepting, if we get Wi-Fi, credit card payments. That would cost the town a percentage to process that. I think that's a slippery slope, and I would certainly advise against it. I mean, someone putting $3, $10, $20 can certainly show up with cash.
I'm not following, John.
Well, I'm saying Marshall mentioned about accepting credit card payments. We're going to get charged a processing fee
Oh,
for
no,
those
no,
credit
yeah.
card payments.
Yeah, we haven't worked all that out. Typically, we pass on the processing fee to the user, but what it does is, one of the issues that the auditor has had is they don't like us managing cash there, so it may be,
Right.
it may help us moving people towards credit cards, but we don't assume the service charge unless we're going to do something more. And typically, our systems so far have passed the service charge on to the credit card user, but that's something that we could certainly discuss. If it is going to cost more, then we would probably have to increase our permits up there or something to absorb that difference. But typically now it's being anything that we do with credit cards currently, which we do in the town hall for payments, that service charge is passed on to the customer.
All right, Scott, the Riley Boyd Hill.
Hold on.
I'm sorry.
Are you dredging anything?
You gotta come up to the mic, Therese, please.
Beaver Brook, are we dredging anything? Is the state allowing us to do anything with the debris that's left over from the beaver dams and stuff? Because it's gonna continue to erode because the water is going around that debris. It's gonna continue to erode the bank on both sides.
The only side we're allowed to do anything is on the park side, and it's where the beaver dam was on the upper part is the only spot he's letting us remove anything. He's not letting us dredge it. He does not allow
Still, our old Bill Adams, that's Bill's answer to all of it. And it's probably the right answer at this point. You realize that. Unbelievable. Okay.
it. Okay?
Right.
So the next one, last but least, for me, hopefully, is Riley Boyd Road. Just so you guys are aware, on Riley Boyd Road is a class 3 road off of Boyd Hill Road, just past Robert Fuller's. I'm sure you're all familiar with that, where that is. Just past it's a road to the left. I don't know the exact mileage of it, but the first part of it is a class 3 road. Then it turns to a class 4 road, which comes out on Green Road down by the Valentine Farm. If you know where that is.
Yeah. Peter Wimmerman owns that now, does he
No,
not?
Wayne Course owns all that.
Oh, he does.
Yes. So Wayne Course is gonna be logging in there. He's already logging the lower side of Green Road. And he is gonna be logging above all the fields closer to the upper end of Riley Boyd Road. So he has put in for a permit and he has started, and I don't think he's doing much more now. He's cleaned the debris out, built the road up a little bit to make it so a log truck can get down through there, making it better for everybody that wants to walk or ride or whatever they might want to do down through there. So that's what it is. There's no plans for developing yet. I ain't gonna ever tell you there won't be, but you never know. There's land there, so you never know.
They're taking out all the maple too.
I don't believe there's much maple, but yeah, they're clear.
The Greens used to tap that, the Green family years ago.
I don't think they're not there though.
He's
They
going-
tap the other side of the road.
He's going down on the right.
Yeah, so if you're coming from Riley Boyd,
Which I'm familiar with, yes.
yeah, he's gonna be down in the right-hand side, but he don't own, the first wooded part is a Dave's somebody. And then it comes to Wayne's section and it was 50 acres, he told us,
On that side of the
on
road.
that side of the road.
Yeah, okay.
They don't know 100% sure. It's not until, it won't be until next winter, not this winter, but next winter if they do anything for cutting that. Right now, they're cutting, Hammer and Sons is logging the lower side of the Green Road, and that's all mostly pine, softwood.
Yeah, he has a forester working with him.
Yeah, he's working
Okay.
with the land conservation forester and Al Dacey.
So the road's not moving, it's just being
And it's not,
cleared.
so some of this, we're letting you know, we did get a complaint from one landowner thinking, I think he thinks that they were gonna open up the road to a full road again. I have no desire to do it. So, and Mr. Course don't want it done either, so.
It's not going all the way through. It basically is just going down to his property so he can get in and out of it.
Okay.
In the winter time. So it's a legitimate use of a class 4 road that has been not abandoned, but has not been maintained for many, many years.
Right.
Yep, and he's took before pictures of him working on it just because an upset residents. The rest of the residents are very happy. The one that's upset is in South Carolina or somewhere,
Yep.
not even here. Don't even know what's happening, but
But Marshall's been talking with him, and
Yeah.
sending him pictures and giving him updates.
yeah, I gave him pictures and stuff, and we took pictures of where the water crossed the road. He didn't change no culvert. There is a culvert down there. He did not change the culvert. He did not add no extra water bars on to that to divert water to somewhere else, so. It's
All right.
just
Okay.
giving you an update on what's happening there.
But for every intent and purpose at this point here in the future, we're looking to keep it a class 4 road, are we not?
I do not ever want to see it anything
Okay,
else.
I'm just mentioning that.
No, it's
I'm
still,
saying that actually for the record.
it's still,
Yes.
it's still a
Yes.
class 4 and it will
Okay,
remain. a
all right.
class 4. Okay,
Yes.
yes.
All right. We don't want to assume more votes. that's for
No,
sure.
and he's, the other thing they're using it for is Liam can't pull his horse, or no, it's not horse, cow manure wagon, because they hay the fields there.
Yeah,
They can't pull it up the hill, so this way they can go down the hill,
all right,
and they can come around and go down the hill when it's long.
all right.
Spread some.
Can I ask him,
Yep,
can I just, anything on David Richmond's feedback he gave regarding the road? That, or is that a,
Well, I think that was a comment period, but I think what I usually do is that Marshall and I sit down, take a look at the comments, and then Marshall will go talk to them and see what we can
Okay.
do. Sometimes we can do things, and sometimes it's limited. Typically, the roads are graded on a schedule, and when we have a lot of rain, there are in fact potholes here and there, but usually that road is in pretty good shape.
and the logs, same thing, you'll talk about that in
The one,
the logs on East Main?
You know, that was our
Trees.
company that
Yeah.
did that. I don't know why it comes back on us at this point. I mean, we had nothing to do with that.
I heard about it, and we haven't had a chance to talk about it yet, but yes, we will have a discussion. Maybe I mean, usually what I find around town is that people are pretty resourceful. They, will reach out to sugar makers and different folks to see if they would come and take some of that. But that's one of those things that,
I'm honestly surprised it's still there.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's all hardwood.
I mean,
too.
usually people
Yeah.
stop and say, can I have it if it's been sitting there a while? So, but that's something that,
They just put a free sign on it. They don't go away.
Yeah, we should get a whole bunch of free signs and just line down the road.
yeah. I mean,
There's only two places with the trees, but yeah.
Oh, there is?
yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I heard about that recently, not, it's not something that I've had on the top of my list, but we'll talk about that, yes.
Okay.
We'll see what we can do.
We're just full of solutions. Huh?
He's right about the potholes on the road. but We won't. go.
Graded yesterday, so it's fine. Yeah.
Well, okay, there you go. I don't know what to say. I mean, 3 years, so I will comment on that. 3 years. So not last year, but the year before, that road got 6 brand new culverts. It had a lot of work. The potholes, I'll grade it today, tomorrow it'll have potholes in it. I can't do nothing about it. The road needs to be blacktop, but some people don't want it, some people do. They already complain they go too fast.
The potholes will slow them down.
Yep.
It's a natural speed bump.
It's an environmental,
I mean, they want, they're talking about they want us to
Slower
put speed bumps out there. There they are, but now they don't want them.
Believe me, it doesn't get too rough because somebody complains.
Yeah, I got someone that travels it and is not afraid to mention it. to me.
It's on a freak mission. I was going to Marlboro. That's why it was a freak mission. When I went down the sideway, I was going to actually end up at the school, but I had to go down to the post office. And I took that little cut off there, and then Simonetti old place there, and went down. And
How'd you like the speed bumps?
huh? That's all of a sudden I'm gonna go back out to Route 9, and there's a beautiful, actually, it's very nice speed bump. And it's graduated the whole bit, it's all warm, the whole 9 yards. And so they obviously have a speeding problem along that route, I'm sure. But it must be just there for the summertime, summer and fall.
So, you're the first one I've heard say it was gradual, unless they went back and did something, because
It's very nice.
so they may have went and changed it. The first one I heard that they put in there had a 4-inch lip.
Oh, this one does not.
So either they paved up to it to make it a little nicer, but I haven't been over to try. A lot of people.
It's the first time I've seen one like that.
but
That's
I
what I'm
was,
saying.
but I was down Fairview Avenue last week in a truck, and I didn't notice that it was that bad. But there's been a lot of rain. Whenever there's a lot of rain, sometimes the gravel roads catch
I'm
potholes.
just,
So,
I have another highway superintendent question. Any update on, you were gonna talk to the company that did the SurePack on Cheer Hill about that deterioration in that one section?
sure, I met with them Monday. They will be here by the end of July. They now have determined that he asked if we would put a couple drains in, which I will do. And they'll be back here by the end of July. So they're gonna bring a paver, and they're actually gonna pave a couple spots before they oil the stone.
Oh.
So.
And that's they're fixing that. Not
We're
the
not,
cost. Great.
that is, so yes, I I called, because they kept saying they're gonna be here, but rain is holding that stuff
Doing that
back.
lately? It's crazy. It's like SurePack all the way and then it just completely gone.
It's,
And then it keeps on going.
it's
crazy.
nice, and then, yeah, it's
Crap,
not so
yeah.
nice, and then nice. Yes.
have we had a week yet without any rain? No, we haven't, since January, right?
But next week, supposed to be 90 every day, so.
Dry things out.
What's your grading
Thanks, Marshall.
schedule for Wilmington Heights?
Shall we go on the sewer commission? I'm sorry.
Let's do that.
It's pretty rough.
Getting bad.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Marshall.
Thanks.
All right, I move that we go into the sewer commission.
Second.
All right, we have motion in the second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. You know, and the sewer commission. Good evening, John.
Good evening.
How are you?
I'm good, and yourself?
You're just terrific.
Well, I'm glad.
I'm sure you are. Yeah, you mark that down on the calendar.
Oh, I've got
Are you doing
four
the-
for you tonight.
Are you doing these one at a time or?
Yes,
or all
you
together?
want to do it the way it's on the listed on here?
You're gonna do them one at a time? Okay.
Yes, yeah, we have to.
Thank
So,
you.
so we'll do 58 Winter Haven. That is a connection permit, so he's gone through all of the allocation process. He's met all of the requirements for
But a
that.
one-bedroom house?
So, you know where Matt Yakaloff is?
Yeah,
Right across the road on the other side, there's that little cottage.
yeah,
He
okay.
wants to build another little one-bedroom building next to that and connect into that sewer.
A one-bedroom? We're gonna call it Elf Hill, are we, or something? I'm sorry, okay.
So, let's see, I did find out from Jessica, and so he hasn't gone through all of the other town,
Oh, he has
Permits
nothing
or
DRB or
zoning and all
anything
that.
yet? No.
but it's gonna be a condition on his permit that he has all of his other
Okay,
states.
okay.
So,
Right.
just, don't worry that, just because, but I just thought it'd be nice to get all of these out of the way and instead of coming back with one every month or something like that, if it's okay with you guys.
Yep.
So this is a connection permit for the one bedroom.
Right.
And he'll be tying into his existing sewer line.
Do
And
we
like I
have to
said,
name them, do we have to name him personally on the motion on this? Or just we'll list
We have
the
it by
address?
location.
The location's gonna be all right? Okay.
yeah.
All right, all right.
Yeah.
All right, so I make the motion that we approve a permit for one-bedroom cottage at 58 Winter Haven Drive.
Second.
All right, we have motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. John? No?
John?
Yep.
So let's see, what was number 2 on the list?
69 Ray Hill Road.
69 Ray Hill. This has been an ongoing, this is Karen Molina. This has been ongoing for a bunch of years now. She got over permitting and then COVID came and just with cost of everything and trying to schedule. But she is really hopeful that this is going to finally happen July or August. So this is just past the Larsens on,
What's Hanson's old place?
I guess it would be, yeah.
Yeah,
And-
it was Russ.
Poor Russ would be really upset because he begged for years to connect and the town wouldn't let him connect, so. But
Why not?
He'd probably be happy. He'd probably
long
be very
story,
happy.
Vince, long story, Vince, different administration, we'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
You're not old enough to understand.
Guess not.
Well, flows used to be a little higher there, we've gotten, I think I've told you this over the years, our flows have actually dropped. We're kind of starting to stabilize, but our flows are lower. Our annual average flow is lower now than it used to be in the late 80s, early 90s. Several factors. One, we've got a lot of infiltration out. We still have a lot of infiltration we're still working on. And the other thing I always tell everybody, every appliance you buy, every toilet is all low flow. Everything you buy now uses a heck of a lot water than it used to. So I think those two together, I think, is the biggest reason.
Makes sense.
So anyway, so this is a connection permit for 69 Ray Hill. This is for she's connecting her house and then she's rebuilding her garage. And I believe she has an apartment or so it's 4 bedrooms total.
Okay. All right, somebody like to make a motion?
Move to approve the permit for a connection permit for a 4-bedroom house at 69 Ray Hill Road.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second it.
All right, we have a motion second to approve the 4-bedroom house or to permit to allow the connection to the 4-bedroom house at 69 Ray Hill Road. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
5 North Main.
5 North Main, right next door here, just a couple buildings down. This is the Sedell residence. He his allocation for oh, this is 2 bedrooms. I thought it was 1 bedroom in my mind.
It's at the bottom of Lyle Hill.
No, where Mark Sprague's, is it Mark Sprague? Mark Sprague?
Yep.
Woodworking,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
at that building. So it's right here out in the back, you know, that kind of wraps around.
Okay.
He's getting permits through Jessica for short-term rental. So he didn't have enough allocation for those uses. So this is to add 2 bedrooms. 2 bedrooms to his existing allocation. Because there was a little space in there, used to be like an art gallery that had 50 gallons of allocation. So we're crediting him that. So he only actually, 2 bedrooms is 280 gallons, crediting him the 50, he only needs to purchase 230 gallons.
Okay.
But it is for 2 bedrooms.
Oh, good. All right, then I move that we approve the application for a 2-bedroom STR at 5 North Main Street at 238 gallons per day.
230.
I'm sorry, 230 gallons per day.
Second.
All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
And then the 4th one is not on your, it was kind of added last minute. This is for 24 West Main. This is the old Merchants Bank.
You have,
Sorry,
sorry,
yeah,
it's
8.
down as 8 West Main.
Yeah,
or is
I
it
was trying to
20?
figure out
But it
what
is
word-
24.
It's,
It is 24.
it is 24.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't realize it was added to the agenda.
8
Yeah,
seats
8,
at 24 West
24
Main.
West Main.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
8.
So he's,
Wasn't Jim in there?
What's that?
Wasn't Jim McGrath in there?
Next
No,
one
no,
over,
no,
it's the
no.
old Deerfield Valley design.
He's in Judy Klein's building.
Jim Barnes.
yeah, you guys you're all talking 3 different buildings now.
So, isn't it the Deerfield Valley design? It used to be the yellow one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but, and
It's
then
an old
Judy
Merchants
Klein's is a
It used to
different
be the old
building. Yeah,
Merchants
we're
Bank.
getting
It was Merchants Bank before the flood.
Yeah, we're getting, yeah.
Yeah. it's a bank, yeah.
Before
It's
that-
the old Merchants
Before that, it
Bank,
was
yeah.
Gloria Aikens. Used to have a.
In it, so it hasn't done anything for quite a while. Just so you know, they do, before they can get all of they need to get an amended state permit. Which this will be based on. They found that the sewer line that is having some issues. So this is gonna be pending that they can get all of their, that sewer line taken care of. They've probably just gotta clean it out. But Merrill has to stamp it. and say that it's-
Okay, there you
it's
go.
good.
There you go. And we know that will be true, right?
So we didn't want to slow him down on getting his DRB because they really want to try to get this up and going this summer.
Okay.
And all of these, they all have, for example, so if we grant this, all of them have like a 90-day grace period where he could back out
Okay.
and get that.
Well, I saw the rule up there tonight.
They've done a ton of work inside. Originally, they were going to do some retail and a little cafe and coffee shop, but I guess the retail is not working out. They're just going to do a little 8-seat. There was some talk of eventually maybe doing a drive-through donut.
That would be nice.
So
Yeah, the coffee shop.
So this is 8 seats. This is 240 gallons.
Okay.
For
Would somebody
24
like to
West Main.
would somebody like to make a motion?
I'd like to make a motion for an application for 8 restaurant seats at 24 West Main for 240 gallons per day.
All right, we have a second.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to second to approve the allocation for 24 West Main Street. And 8 restaurant seats. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. All right, opposed? No one's opposed.
Could I have 2 minutes just to fill you in on one other thing?
Sure, sure.
We had last week, we're doing our monthly sampling. We did have a high E. coli result. Our permit limit is 77. We got a 110. So our chlorine was maxed out. So the first thing we do when we get that result, we take another sample, run it to Keene, and that result came back as 2. So I think it was just, there's no explanation of why it was high, but it was high. State was contacted. We didn't have to do any public notice or anything like that.
Okay.
They're just as lost as we are.
It's just a required notice that they can do
So,
verbally.
just wanted to
over
let
the
you guys
phone.
know. Scott may have been mentioning it to you later. I just thought, since I'm here.
Thank you.
So can I ask you a quick question? When there's that high level, is there any public notice whatsoever?
No, it actually, even like at the Green Mountain Beach, if it's less than 235, so it can be 234. If it's
Okay.
235, and then it's public notice.
Okay, thank you.
Yep, you're welcome.
But this is sewer, so
This is sewer, but the number's the same.
it's the same.
If we were 235, we would have had to do the public notice and put signs at any of the like boat ramp or within a mile of the outfall.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
John, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, John.
All right, I move we come out of the sewer commission. You second?
Second.
We have a motion, a second to come out of the sewer commission. All those in favor say aye.
All right.
Aye. All right. All right, Scott?
Just 1 second. 1% local option tax request. The select board to possibly approve a 1% request from the Vermont 250th Anniversary Committee in the amount of $30,000 for celebration events and memorabilia. And Therese is here.
Just a second here. We got a
And
page.
Kathleen,
And
Yeah,
Kathleen.
yeah, we'll get back in there. Huh?
John didn't go over this one. There's his increases.
No. Which one?
Okay.
I'm sorry, please go right ahead.
gentlemen, I'm here to inform you that today in Philadelphia, the Second Continental Congress has finalized the terms of Washington's commission and prepares the document for delivery. I am also to inform you that just before midday, violence erupted at Breeds Hill outside Boston. American forces entrenched on the high ground repelled 2 British assaults. At the third assault, the Patriots ran out of ammunition and were forced to retreat. Though technically a British victory, the cost is staggering, over 1,000 British casualties compared to about 450 Americans. The courage of the American militia astonishes us all. June 17th, 1775.
I could have sworn Al Wurzburger said exactly what I said many, many times.
And I
I'm very
need-
serious.
And I need a bigger map.
What's the title of that? Is that, it's just a proclamation?
That is today in history, 250 years ago today.
Okay, yep.
I'm happy to share that with you.
No, I'm good.
So you have a request before you. We've been meeting since you all signed the resolution set up by the governor to put a committee together. And we've been meeting probably every 2 weeks since December.
Oh, yeah.
So we're trying to aggressively put together our big concentration is to be the 76 days from April 19th, 2026 until July 4th, 2026. So we can do 76 days of celebration. We're trying to fill in speakers and musical programs, and the push is to educate, excite, entertain folks in terms of our own local history, as well as that of Vermont. As you know, is still an independent republic, not part of the original colonies. And then also what was happening on the national scale. So we're trying to do some commemorative things. You saw in the packet here the medallion from the bicentennial, which if you're out on Facebook at all, there was a bunch of people out there that said, I've got one, I've got one, I've got one. So we would like to do a commemorative coin, again, celebrating Wilmington within the aspect of the 250th anniversary. of the Declaration of Independence. I showed you an example of some stand-up banner displays. We are choosing 3 locations around town in order to do a set of displays with artifacts and again, local history, Vermont history, national history, and use the commemorative coins as a marketing piece a little bit, to say, you know, the first 25 people to come to whatever event will get a commemorative coin. And also have it available. I also put some items in there in terms of our own local history. Did you know that Wilmington had a song, Old Wilmington? And also John Henry Flagg, so a little bit of information about him. So there's plenty of local history to celebrate besides that of our nation's 250th anniversary.
It says to be sung to the tune of My Maryland, My Maryland.
Right.
Has anybody ever heard that?
Come on, Tom, do it.
I have never heard it. I have never heard
It's actually the tune of "Oh Christmas Tree."
it. Oh, Christmas tree.
Yep.
You know,
I have a question.
Yeah.
So Jim's last 1% request for, it's the same Jim, right? The gentleman who's doing
Yep.
the
He's
signs
part of our committee.
on,
Yep.
Jim Desai.
yep. Are any of those included in this? I know he was
No.
planning on putting them up in July 4th, but is he still, you know,
That-
any update on that?
That's separate. That'll
Okay.
be on perhaps in lawn for September.
Yeah, September, okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
So we'll be sprinkling things in as we go, but we're trying to really push for April through July of 26. We are planning to partner with things that are already in place, so we're not having to recreate the fireworks because we already have a good fireworks celebration. We also have the Blueberry Festival stuff, so the parade can become a red, white, and blue parade. There's no way for us to compete and to have enough money to do anything on July 4th. So, and as it was actually in history, the word of the declaration didn't reach Vermont until July 28th. So we would be in line with what happened historically.
Well, at the same time.
Right,
my own-
Tom? Because you were there.
My own Wi-Fi
You're
was.
trying to
like
get
that.
an approval.
So how big is your committee?
We have 5 of us.
Is the state at all, you know, directing anyone to do anything a certain way or
No,
are they
not-
offering any assistance whatsoever?
Not really. They're asking if, you know, to feed back to them like calendar of events and things like that, so
They
that
have a
they will
website.
put it on
Okay.
their website and calendar. They've
Because I haven't
offered-
seen them mention anything on this. That's why
No,
I'm saying,
some
I
things-
knew it was coming out.
Yeah, some things have appeared. I was in Bennington this morning and some students, art students, graphic arts students designed some banners. You'll see on the poles in Bennington
Okay,
for various people and events.
Nice. And in the spring of this, well, a couple months, it was in February, they started. I went over and spoke to the middle high school students at the General Assembly, because there's an America 250 competition that's happened each year. And the social studies teacher there, Elizabeth Turo, very graciously agreed to get the students to they didn't necessarily have to submit their entry, but to do entries. And the theme was, what does it mean to be an American? And I'll say my 9th grade grandson, this is kind of typical, came up with he had this cartoon of the Hulk in revolutionary garb. So I don't think he submitted it to the national, but we told them that that'll be one of our displays that we have, is whatever the middle high school students come up with. This competition's national, and I don't know that I am. And I also was told, but couldn't see because she was, the second time I visited to see the results, the art teacher, I had a ceramics class, and I saw one of the pieces, and it was lovely. It was it was done by a student who moved here just a couple of years ago from Puerto Rico. So it was a bowl, and on one side were palm trees, and then on the other side were pine trees. And then inside the bowl were people coming together, holding hands, and to her, that's what it means being an American. So we're trying to get the students involved, and we also do have a talk this summer, just before Blueberry Fest starts, July 24th. The author of the Ira Allen biography is going to be speaking at the old school. So we can all attend that. But we're, trying to get the the kids involved, as well as community members and such. So. Oh, yeah, so thank you. Yeah. And that's that talk will be free, and we'll have some refreshments, red, white, and blue, I guess. Maybe. So.
I can go to that one.
Oh, excellent.
Okay, any questions?
Go for it.
Nope. A lot of work, isn't it? Huh?
It is.
Yeah, I would think it is. So has anybody said anything to you that this may be 250 years, but not for Vermont? We weren't even a colony.
Right. Yeah, we're not a state till 1791.
Yeah,
We were
well,
the 14th state admitted to the union.
now that's true. All right, we are the 14th.
And during that time period, one of the interesting things is that both New Hampshire, my home state, and the state of New York were sort of fighting over Vermont, as I'm sure many of you know. So, but I think that's something that a lot of folks, today, even here, aren't really aware of. And I don't know, it's maybe, it's a history.
I see those interviews after the college graduations that are online, asking kids who the first president was, and they're not responding well. So I can't imagine that they're going to know this, the history here with Ethan Allen.
Yeah, they're competing land grants, I think. Yeah.
Yes, that's what it was. Yeah, yeah, and
So we're looking, to educate folks on some of that,
Yeah.
take some interest. get
So are
people-
you gonna wear that hat there for most of the festivities?
Yeah, I need a bigger hat though.
oh, you're gonna shrink
It's
your
a
head.
little too small.
They're smaller people.
Yeah, I had smaller brains.
Okay, all right.
That's great. Yeah.
No, I know this is a big to do, and a lot of the local places are doing it. Is anything happening in Whitingham at all? Are they just pretending it
I
didn't
have
happen?
not
No?
heard of them signing on. I think Dover may have signed on.
Okay, all right.
But I think the
Dover's
big
on this.
thing is to be decorated and, if we can put the flags out on the streets like we do for Memorial, during that time
Yeah.
and get people to put out, red, white and blue buntings and things like
Okay.
that. And then partner with businesses and have them do much like we do with the Blueberry Fest, create.
So the buntings can stay up longer at this point? I mean, has somebody told the beautification committee?
Someone's
that?
got to tell Cheryl.
No. You know how-
Hey, Therese.
We'll have to
Send her an
get
email.
permission. Yeah,
Yeah, Therese, this is great, but are we doing anything to advertise this outside of town?
We'll be sharing with Vermont Humanities, and on the state level, certainly with the chamber, both state level and locally, area towns.
Teresa, I was gonna say, I recommend you guys set up a meeting with Bytown Marketing to get on their schedule
Yeah,
when you start coming up with a calendar, and they can work with Tim to really get the information out there.
yeah. We have worked.
I'm assuming we can get something on the town website for events, upcoming events or something.
They
Yeah,
actually are already on the website. When you go to the landing page, the very first button is the 250th. We've been putting some local historical photos in there and stuff. And we've started putting calendar information there. We have created a QR code that leads people there, and we'll be using that throughout the materials that we'll be handing out and posters that we put out, et cetera.
for the Ira Allen talk that is happening this July, I plan on getting the press release out in the next week and a half at the latest to not only Deerfield Valley News, but Brattleboro Reformer, Bennington paper, and sending it to Vermont Humanities and the Vermont 250. So we, but that's a great idea. I didn't realize there was this a town.
Yeah, we have met with Wilmington Works as well as our chamber, so
Chamber. Yeah.
we'll add the Bytown.
Yeah.
So John, Kathleen is referring to an Ira Allen Green Mountain Frontier figure conversation on Thursday, July the 24th at 7 p.m. at the Old School Community Center in Wilmington. And they're welcoming Vermont historian J. Kevin Graffagnino.
Graffagnino, yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's a great,
good.
he's engaging.
Based on his new book, Ira Allen, a biography.
So we'll reach as far and wide as we can with the marketing and so forth.
Other states doing the same thing?
Good
They
question.
must be. They must be.
I imagine
involved in
so.
something
Oh,
like
yeah,
that.
it's a national, I mean, there's the America 250, and then pretty much every state, especially, I know, I get a lot of stuff still, from the Massachusetts Humanities and the Massachusetts Historical Society. And they're on fire in Massachusetts, of course.
At least New
Boston.
England. Yeah, I think New
And
England.
you're talking to somebody who, I left New Hampshire to go to school in Boston, and lived there through the bicentennial, and it was crazy. All those people walking, oh, look at those old buildings.
And while we don't,
Bicentennial was actually pretty cool.
The bicentennial,
The
yeah.
tall ships, everything came in. Near the
Oh, in
Harbor.
Boston, yeah,
very
yeah.
nice.
No, I lived in Boston from 73 to 76. We moved out after, before it got really good. But so I know in New England, it's certainly a thing. And I also know that New York State, I've seen stuff because I'm on different history websites and things and get newsletters. And in the American South too, it's because they were, of course, Virginia and South Carolina, they were hot spots. The rest of the country that wasn't even, had only indigenous people there yet. They're still, that's why this America 250 theme is, what does it mean to be an American? Is trying to be inclusive. Even if if your state wasn't even a colony and, didn't exist in any way in 1776, you're still in the end part of America, and which is now celebrating its 250th.
I mean, we don't have specific ties to what was going on. I mean, obviously the closest is the Battle of Bennington, which wasn't until 1777, but still there, we have plenty of people here in town, and we're hoping to share, who was here, what were they doing? They were blacksmiths and farmers and so forth. And
over
some
50
of the,
Wilmington residents fought in the Revolutionary War.
Yeah.
The registers are at the library, in the green room, and also at the Historical Society. And that's something else that, because I do work part-time at the library.
and there's plenty of fun local history in terms of things like, electrifying town when that came about, and that was Joseph Courtemanche, which was the gentleman that built what is now the Wilmington Inn. That was his personal home. And like Jen Henry Flagg, the lawyer, statesman, poet, that's in your packet, was a new one on me that we found, so.
John built in was actually Canadian, eh?
Yeah.
All right. Someone like to make a motion?
I'd like to make the motion for the select board to approve the 1% request from the Vermont 250th Anniversary Committee in amount of $30,000 for the celebration events and memorabilia.
All right, do we have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Hold it, folks. We have a motion and a second to approve the 1% request for $30,000 for the Vermont 250th Anniversary Committee for the celebration and for events and memorabilia. All those in favor, say aye.
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 No opposed. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Good luck with it.
Thank
Thanks.
you. I'll join in.
Yes, come to the top.
Oh, thank you.
All right, I'm going to move to go into the Liquor Commission.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to second. All those in favor, say aye.
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 All right.
I'm going to do these in two sections since the first two items Charlie will be abstaining from. So a request to cater permit for W.I. Foster for an event at Chimney Hill Clubhouse on July the 5th, 2025 from 2 to 5:30 p.m. and a special event permit for Vermont Distilleries or VT Distillers for an event at the Wilmington Inn on 6/30/25 from 5 to 9 p.m.
All right, we have a motion.
So moved as read and
So
written.
move that, so there you go. All right, and I'll second that, Joe. All right, so all those in favor, say aye.
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 I abstain.
All right, Scott.
The second section, everyone can vote, a special event permit for VT Distillers at the Blueberry Block Party on August the 2nd, 2025 from 4 to 9 p.m. A second class renewal for Starfire Bakery, a first and third class renewal for Maple Leaf Tavern.
Just a quick question. The bakery has a liquor license?
Yeah, they sell the beer from the brewery at the bakery.
Oh, okay, okay.
Is it still a
I just,
renewal?
I
even though
just
they're
kind
at
of, you know,
different address?
I didn't have my
Evidently.
donut with a beer here.
You should try it.
Nothing was good, huh?
Dip them right in.
Well, you know, it seems like every time a business comes into town, first thing you look for is a liquor license.
Oh, yeah.
All right, all right, all right. We see what's all sitting there. All right, somebody like to make a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to approve special event permit for Vermont Distillers, the Blueberry Block Party. You know what, as read, and what did you say before? On 8/2/25 from 4 to 9, second class renewal for Starfire Bakery and a first and third class renewal for Maple Leaf Tavern.
All right. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the renewal of licenses presented here this evening. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
We're
I
out.
move we come out of the Liquor Commission. Second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are out of the
Aye.
Liquor Commission. All right, Scott, other business?
No, thank you.
None. Select board comments?
None as of today.
Just a question, how's progress on the sidewalks?
No, this is comment period. It's not
Okay, no
question
comments,
period.
okay, all right. fine.
I'd like to
Um,
make a comment about a question.
Okay, so yes.
Seem to be dragging, are we gonna
Yes.
actually be able to keep the grant money if we have any left, or?
Yes,
Okay.
we are. We're
We're gonna have to give it back
What's
with interest,
interesting
or
is
what?
we got GMP to move the poles and cut the trees. And we're still waiting for the other utilities. Duncan has been here. And we're waiting for I think two other utilities. to move.
Consolidated and who else?
Huh?
Probably Consolidated.
Consolidated and
Personally.
First Light. I want to say Lightfoot, but First Light.
Why don't you tell them we're gonna rip it off?
They haven't done the full transfer even on the backside of Hogback though either. I know there's still two sets of poles there.
Did you know that we have a new state tree?
What?
A new state tree?
Tree.
The old telephone pole?
Yeah, telephone.
A new state trees and telephone. Thank you very much. Yeah, they were working over here on one pole that they're changing out.
They just did this one, they're gonna be doing this one in the next couple weeks.
Remember the one next to the bridge?
There you go.
Why are they doing that now as opposed to waiting until the bridge is ready to be? Whatever.
But yeah, we can't, there's no rhyme or reason on any of that.
So so that's just the functional aspect of moving lines, but also I believe we do have all of our easements in place. I believe we have agreement with all the property owners, and because they changed hands, it took us, the state required us to go back. It's either in a final state review or it's just out. I lost track of that. But at any rate, we hope to go out with an RFP this fall to be ready to go next season. Yes.
God.
It's
Drag this
just,
on for another 10 years.
it's just slow-mo. Yeah. I mean, it's, you know, it's a turtle's pace, sorry to say, but
It's a dead turtle's pace, but okay.
you know,
Dead
I mean,
turtle.
you're dealing with so many different parties. And their sense of urgency, our sense of urgency is not their sense of urgency. So I'm hoping that all comes together here this summer. So it would be. At least get it done before I retire. Yes.
Before I die. That'd be nice.
Before the bridge is closed.
Oh,
Good luck.
every time a truck goes over it, I go, ooh, is it today the day?
I've been over that a
That's
couple
bad.
times just with my truck and I'm thinking, oh man, I don't know if this is gonna last or not.
Oh, well. All right.
And don't forget, I mean, just to add another piece that you may have forgotten that I'll remind you of. We are at the same time trying to straighten out the sewer main there. Yeah. Or the connected sewers into a main. Yes. From house to house to house.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Okay.
That was always, that's still amazing every time you think of it. Anyway, I don't have anything to add. Charlie, you?
Nothing. The new executive director should be coming by, probably get on the agenda next week or so, or next time. We had a great chamber golf tournament yesterday, and yeah, I got nothing.
So who's the new executive?
Marianne Montana.
Montana.
Montana,
Yes.
Joe's wife.
Great.
Yep.
All right. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So Scott, since that's the case, John has nothing, Vince has nothing. Well, why don't we look for you for updates here at this point?
Well,
Got nothing.
everything changes without my sidekick, so have to find things.
His minutes look scary.
It all come together. It's like the Wizard of Oz. You can't see what's happening behind them.
We used to call it creative writing.
You can't see what's happening behind the, the curtain. So, okay. I think I know I've mentioned this before on the old Sprague property that we took in a FEMA buyout after Tropical Storm Irene. Its number is 130 Route 100 North.
Yeah.
There was a request by a new landowner across the bridge, Bruce Fisher, through his attorney, and another person who's working there. They've asked for basically they've asked GMP to put in 2 poles. Will be on the town's property that we own there, and because it was a FEMA purchase. The property has to stay in a perpetual, I'll just call it natural recreation there's very little you can do to the property, but natural recreation is one of the things promoted. You could put it in a pavilion to enhance the, you know, to get people to go there and things like that. But it's very, very limited in what you can do. So basically, in order to do anything with the property, I have to ask the state, who then has to do a review with FEMA. And so it's a long way around of saying I'm waiting for state review. We asked back in May, a proposal to install 2 GMP poles on the town site near the road and bridge that crosses over the north branch of the Deerfield River. If we get the okay from the state to go forward with that, then I come back and GMP will issue an easement, which we will have legally reviewed on our end, so that there's stipulated, but it cuts over the property along the right of way, the road that kind of cuts in between two parcels. I mean, it's one parcel, but the road sort of cuts it, not quite in half, but it cuts through the middle of it. So we own behind the, what is that, the store there? We own, yeah, so we own behind the farmhouse market, and then we own down the river a while. And the part that abuts, goes behind the farmhouse market, abuts a Wheeler parcel. And it's also in the floodplain there. And so essentially, it will require an easement, but all of that, the select board will have to approve. And I'm assuming that if we can get an agreement on the easement, we can get an agreement with the state and FEMA, that I would imagine that the select board probably won't have an issue with it. I'm not presupposing that, but it will all come back to you in a formal legal manner, okay?
Okay.
AOT Bridge number 31. Just so this is one that you might be watching closely.
Yeah, I think so.
Lately.
This is 31.
This is 31 out our window.
Thank you.
You tell me it bounces a little bit. Just so you know, VHB is still the project manager on this project, and I was hoping in the spring we would actually have a report back, but that's not the case. There's been turnover at VHB, but one of the people who has been in this room and here from the beginning, Jamie Roy, she's now the project manager. She anticipates a scoping report to review in August and to potentially schedule the next public meeting presentation on the alternatives in an August, September timeframe. That's the best I have for you right now. I think by now everyone understands that we are making some changes in the assessor's office in the short term, and without going into detail, the finance officer and my administrative assistant are working with NEMRIC, which is our financial program, and it corresponds with the grand list. We're working with a person from NEMRIC and ARG, which is Russ, who is our assessor. And the idea is to maintain continuity in the office of the assessor. So in terms of the grand list, our best schedule for mailing out notices is Tuesday, June the 24th, which means that our assessor, Russ, would have the latest abstract ready to be lodged first thing in the morning on the 24th of June, giving the assessor Monday, the 23rd, to do what they call either an exercise or a test or a review of the information. So in this scenario, notices would be mailed by staff on June 24th. If we can't quite do it on the 24th, it would probably be the 25th. All that does is move the dates out, even though we would like to meet our statutory obligation of essentially using these dates would be the 24th. What does that mean? That means that grievances must be filed by July the 8th. Initially, Sarah was planning for approximately 2 days of grievances, and we're gonna hope that we can maintain either 1 day or 2 days, depending on the number of grievances. Grievances are scheduled in an 8-hour period every 15 minutes. And so the grievance is a hearing. It will be heard by a member of ARG, and then the results will be mailed out afterwards. So there's no argument or real discussion during that period unless it's questions to clarify. Results of the grievances must be mailed within 7 days. That brings us up to about July the 16th, and when the grand list will be lodged. After the grand list is lodged, a special meeting will be set for July the 17th or 18th. That's the select board special meeting. So right now, tentatively, we're planning on either July the 17th or the 18th, which is a Thursday or a Friday. If you could just, pencil us in for that. And of course, our special meetings for these kinds of things is usually first thing in the morning, about 8:15. And that is for the select board to set the rates for FY 2026. We will keep you apprised of any changes. As you know, I think we mentioned the last time, the bridge on Green Road is completed. It was completed on May 20th. And we shared pictures last time, but Marshall took me out there and looks quite good. Marshall gave me a little bit of an update. Since he's here, he can certainly answer any questions if you have any. On the FY 25 Category A, Better Roads Grant for the town, the highway, Marshall will be working with Jeff Nugent, who is a GIS planner for Wyndham Regional Commission, assisting in updating our road erosion inventory for our municipal roads general permit. So it's something that we have to do, and it's something that actually takes place on an annual basis anyhow, or seasonal basis, I would say. But this is more of an audit or an inventory of where we're at, right?
Inventory
Every 5 years, but yeah, but you input every season, I think, right? The total amount is $12,480 for the grant. The grant is actually for $9,884, and the balance would be a match or in-kind work that usually highway has to participate. The Lake Raponda Road rebuild is completed. Remember, this is about 1,000 feet a year. We have 3,000 feet left to go. And the project for material this year cost $60,000 plus 630 man hours. So that was a week, 2 weeks, 2 weeks.
2 weeks, the guys, we hauled some of the material, some of it's trucked to the garage, some of the material was hauled during the spring during our slow time. Bravo to save the extra that they would charge us to truck it, we trucked it. So it cost us, like I said, roughly $60,000 plus the man hours. That's what it costs us to do 1,000 feet.
I need Joe over there if you're going to talk a lot. Paving project on Chimney Hill Road has started. The milling has been completed, and weather permitting, paving will start the 26th.
Next Thursday.
And they're pulling up stumps on Haynes Road from trees that were cut last year to improve the road width, Haynes Road. Anything else?
We'll be around town. There's a few other places that trees were cut last fall that we'll be pulling the stumps out to either improve width or visibility or drainage. Paving in Chimney Hill, like I said, will start. So the road was ground. We did save all the grindings. So that's something I could have put in the dump update, but I didn't. But I'll talk about it for a quick second. We saved all the millings, the grindings, however you want to call them. And as I talked about, I hoped to do it last year, but we didn't. We will be sometime in July. They'll be doing the first 1,500 feet of the transfer station road will be all millings. So they'll look like blacktop. It's blacktop, it's recycled blacktop.
To help with some of the drainage. Yeah.
Will help hopefully during mud season, help with the potholes that reoccur. It's a test trial to see how it works. The rest of the millings that aren't used on that are going to be mixed into, we saved around 1,500 yards of the gravel that was dug out of Lake Raponda Road, roughly. It's a pile of dirt right now. Be mixed in, screened out to make 1.5 inch material that we'll be recycling and putting on some of the, what I like to call driveways that we plow, the one house roads that we have to plow. 2 houses are on them, so they don't get a lot of traffic, but they're missing a lot of material from the years of not getting any material, to see if we can make something, save some money, recycle material at a low cost. And we'll also use it for the shoulders of blacktop. And it won't be topsoil.
Not gonna grass seed it
We-
and straw it and all that stuff?
So the Lake Raponda Dam. The Vermont Department of Environmental Conservation, the Dam Safety Program, and the Water Investment Division penned the review of the Lake Raponda Dam March 2025 report. The MSK engineers provided with them, and they came back with a number of questions and comments for MSK. There will be a meeting between MSK and the state to discuss in the near future, and I've asked if they could include me. If it doesn't conflict with my schedule, I just want to listen in. On the legal side, for the Wyndham Superior Court Appeals of BCA decisions, we have 3 now. You'll remember the Elizabeth Lacombe Revocable Trust at 43 3 Stearns Way, 140 LL Heights, that was Ziggy. And 21, the new one is 21 Aldrich Road, George Zaringa III. And there's a notice of hearing for that on August the 12th. And they do a lot of these on what they call the WebEx. So there's not, at this point, there's not any in-person. It's cheaper for us from an attorney standpoint. They don't have to travel. So that's all I have for you.
Very good. Anything else? Anybody have anything else for the good of Wilmington?
Move to adjourn.
With that, hearing no response, we're going to take motions to adjourn. All right? Would somebody like to adjourn? Yes. We'll make a motion.
So move to adjourn.
So moved. All right. You have a second?
Second.
All right. We have motion second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right.
Have a good night, John.
Hey, good night, all.
All right.
Let's get thrown off your deals here, guys. Thanks, Teresa.
Marshall, I got a question for you.
We got people listening.